Hey YouTube, this is the Build Brothers back again, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace a receiver in a garage door opener. The reason I have to do this is the photography lights I have just happen to be, they emit roughly at the same frequency as the garage door receiver, and on Halloween I tried to make them flash and I effectively EMP'd the receiver board in here. The reason I know it's true is because I researched it and I looked up the length of the filament in that bulb, and it just so happens to be right around a meter long, or a little bit under a meter long, and this the wavelength of this is right around a meter long. So I basically just EMP'd the receiver in here, and because of that I ordered a new one. This will just be a quick how to get in here and normal things to do when you're doing something like this. So the first thing you always want to do when you're working on something like this is disconnect power. It's also a good idea to wait some amount of time if it's something like an air conditioner or a garage door opener. They do have capacitors in them and they take some time to discharge. I know how to discharge capacitors without, the one in here is not very big, and I know how to discharge it without hurting myself, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This garage door opener has 4 screws for the back case. They're here, one on the side, one on the bottom, and then one on the bottom on the other side, and one on the side, the other side. And then there's 2 Phillips for the light lens. There's the lens. Take that off. The reason you want to take that off is the antenna for the receiver is right there, and you'll need to get that out. There's also a screw that holds the receiver circuit board in. Now I'll go ahead and take the back case off. For these, you don't actually have to remove them all the way. I am, just because I don't know, I just did. Because these are actually slotted, as you can see right there, so you can just pull it off the back. But I removed them all the way. So this right here, I believe, yeah, that's a capacitor. So without touching the metal, if you short the capacitor together, it will discharge it. For larger capacitors, you don't really want to do this because this will get welded to the capacitor. But for something this small, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, this didn't, it was pretty much already drained most likely. Yeah, so it's discharged already. And then if you're still worried about it, try not to touch that part. But I will go ahead and take this screw out, or loosen it. So that's good. And there's one right here. There's not, actually first I'm going to disconnect the plug and take note of where the wires are in relation to the board. The green one's on top. But then I'll go ahead and unscrew this. And the board I got should just directly replace this. Uncoil the antenna wire so you can get it out. And that's the old board. This is the new board. It looks a little bit different. This is just a newer model. The website that makes these said that this is a compatible version for this garage door opener, so we'll see. You want to put the antenna back through the hole. Don't want to tighten it down too much because you might crack the board. And then line that back up. This just holds it in place, and tighten that back down. And then you're good to plug this in. Same orientation as you unplugged it. And it's good to have the case put back on. So it's a good idea to follow like basic receiver or transmitter troubleshooting procedures, like resyncing it with the board before you assume it's the receiver board. Because a lot of times, if the battery dies in the receiver or power is lost to this for long enough, it will unlearn the code and you'll have to reprogram it to it. And it's really just a matter of pressing the learn button right here and pressing the button you want to use on your transmitter. But the reason I know that it's that board, like I said, is because it stopped working. So on Halloween, I came in here, I opened the garage door with a clicker, I plugged in the light, and then I started making the light flash with a device I have. And I went to leave to close the garage door, I used the clicker, and nothing happened. I went over to the wall and hit the button and it worked, which means that the garage door itself, the garage door opener itself was fine, but either the clicker or the receiver in here stopped working. So what I did is I went and got my other transmitter, the other clicker, and I tried that one and nothing. I tried resyncing both of them and nothing. And then I realized that flashing light bulbs, especially bulbs with filaments in them like fluorescent bulbs, emits radio waves depending on the length of the filament, and the length of that filament just happened to coincide with the wavelength of the receiver board. And this thing's only designed to receive, like, I don't know, probably a ridiculously minute amount of power because it's running off of a coin cell lithium battery inside the transmitter, whereas the light bulb that I was using is like a 75 watt actual fluorescent bulb. It's a massive bulb and it's running 120 volts, and it was only a few feet from here. So it just overloaded this board and destroyed, I'm not exactly sure what. I tested and a bunch of the capacitors were dead open, so I tried replacing the capacitors and it didn't fix it, so I'm guessing I actually fried one of the boards, one of the integrated circuits in there. But if that's true, this will work. I hope it is true, but we will see. Just gonna screw this back in. I have to hit the learn button, I believe, but we will see. All right, so I'm gonna plug this back in. I'm gonna go get my transmitter from inside, and then I will be right back. All right guys, so I'm back. I got the transmitter. I shut off one of the lights because that's one of the lights that actually damaged this when it was flashing. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the learn button up here. It's flashing. I will hit the button I want to use. Flashing stopped. Hit the button again. And it works. So it's pretty much that easy. It's a little fidgety sometimes getting these to program to the board, but it works again. So this is Trash. Thank you guys for watching. If you like videos like this, like this video, and subscribe. We'll have tons of videos, just random videos. I think one of the next videos is actually going to be replacing engine mounts in my daily driver, because I just realized that one of them is pretty far gone, and it somehow, I don't understand it, but it only has 67,000 miles on it or something. But one of the engine mounts, the rubber bushing in it is completely falling apart. But yeah, if you like videos like this video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave them in the comments, and we will likely consider doing them. Depending on how much it costs, we might just go ahead and do it as soon as somebody makes a suggestion, because we don't have that many suggestions yet. If you like this channel, subscribe. We will have a 240Z video coming out fairly soon, if it's not already out before this video comes out. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.